We got to talk Pearl Jam here on the morning show with Anthony because Pearl Jam is just doing some amazing, amazing things lately. And it all surrounds their home shows that they've been doing. They did, I should say, over the weekend over there at Safeco Field in Seattle. Starting, I guess, with the Pearl Jam exhibit, right, that they opened up, which was really cool. They, in the Seattle Center, put this whole exhibit up with all this, like, Pearl Jam stuff, just a total celebration of themselves, Seattle, you know, and that's what's great about it. It's not just a celebration of Pearl Jam. It's like a celebration of them and their environment, which is just perfect for Seattle. I think it's really cool. I know of one person, actually, that was going to the show personally, you know, flying over there just for that kind of stuff. And I think, you know, like, I love that. I love when bands do this stuff because I always feel like there's never enough you can give to the fans. Like, there's always more. Like, yeah, give me more. I always like people that are like, oh, you know, oh, how much can Pearl Jam, you know, how much merch can you have? How much this can you have? Do we really need a, you know, Pearl Jam glasses? And like, yeah, I don't think there's ever enough. I don't think that there's ever enough. I would buy everything. I'd buy Pearl Jam Christmas ornaments if I could, if they put them out. I would buy them because I love the band. I mean, I'm not as crazy as some other people, but still. I never criticize a band for merch or anything like that, exhibits, this and that. And it was really nice. They put a statue up. They had a whole thing commissioned and made for Andrew Wood. You know, from Mother Love Bone, who half the band was, you know, with before Pearl Jam started. And it was really, really lovely, quite lovely. So that was the start of this whole entire weekend. And then we heard that Pearl Jam, along with a whole bunch of other artists, have gotten together to try and save the Showbox in Seattle. Over 150 Seattle artists have signed a letter to save this legendary music venue over in Seattle. Not just Pearl Jam, by the way. Guns N' Roses, Death Cab for Cutie, Macklemore. A lot of people have gotten on board to try and save this piece of land and this historic venue, which is being torn down in lieu of a 44-story luxury residential tower, which is not a great thing. Benjamin Gibbard writes, we have created a coalition to save the Showbox, not just because we have great memories of playing and seeing shows there, but because we want it to be available for future generations and performers and music fans to create their own. Mike McCready said specifically, the Showbox is integral to the social fabric of the Seattle music scene. It is as important as CBGB's, the First Avenue, Fillmore East and West, the Troubadour, and the Whiskey. CBGB is probably a bad example. That's a John Varvatos store to this day. It's different in Manhattan, though. It's different in the city because although nobody wanted to lose CBGBs and you know, there's so many venues in Manhattan. Manhattan's constantly re-evolving, but Seattle not as big and a little bit different. A little bit of a different situation. But anyway, so Pearl Jam threw themselves behind that. They also, over the weekend, did a whole bunch of covers at their shows, paying tribute to both Chris Cornell and Tom Petty, who I'm going to have some audio here for you here from Eddie Vedder, who the last time Eddie saw Tom was right there at Safeco Field.
The crazy thing is that the last time I saw him, Tom Petty was right here. He was right here, and about the same exact time last summer. He's just another friend who's moved on and left us feeling like something's missing. But we have his songs forever, and it would really mean a lot to me because if there's some kind of way that he's out and about, up there metaphysically in some kind of way, I feel like I just really want to try to get his attention.
So Eddie asked the crowd to put the lights on their cell phones, today's modern, you know, lighters, and he did, and created what a wonderful atmosphere. If you watch the vlog on WEHM.com, you'll be able to see this just behind me. created such a wonderful atmosphere as he covered acoustically "I Won't Back Down."
I won't be turned around, and I will keep this world from dragging me down. I'll stand my ground, and I won't back down.
So he did an awesome job at covering that. I'm hoping and praying, and I believe this is being filmed much like Chicago and the Wrigley Field shows, and they'll be available for release. Pearl Jam is usually really awesome at doing releases like this. So hopefully we'll all get to experience this in good high definition and good clear audio, as opposed to the cell phone clip that I just shared for you guys. So hopefully that's coming in the future. And that is not even it. The last part of this, from these two shows that they did, Pearl Jam has raised over $11 million for the homeless of Seattle, with 90% of the proceeds going to King County organizations. Marty Hartman, who's the director of Mary's Place, one of the organizations that runs homeless outreach, says, quote, "This is what those home shows can do. Literally bring more people home out of those cars, out of those tents, up off the sidewalk, and give them a safe place to be and get them into their forever home." Mary's Place is one of over 40 organizations that will receive donations just from these Pearl Jam shows. That's awesome. Pearl Jam absolutely killing it right now.